Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jim Stahoviak, the Associate Director of the Iowa Center for Assistive Technology, Education, and Research, also known as ICATER, here in the College of Education at the University of Iowa. And today we're going to do another one of our app webinars. Today we're going to look at a communication app called Handy Speech. Handy Speech is right here. It's a little bit different than a lot of the other communication apps that you're going to see. Generally, this is designed for somebody that has good physical capability and can write, because the idea behind this is it's going to use handwriting recognition to type something out supposedly faster than typing for most people, and then you're going to be able to speak that as well. So this is the whole interface that you're seeing right there. This runs about $30. It's actually an interesting backstory. It was a 12-year-old boy came up with this idea to help his autistic sister who was struggling with speech, and so him and his dad worked on this. His dad was a software engineer, came up with this product, Handy Speech, to make it easier for people that can't speak but could write to be able to communicate. So this is all you got here. This is how it works. Your main piece you're going to be using is right here, and so if you want to write something in here, you're going to write within the lines. You're not going to use the full 2 lines. You'll write all within 1 line here, and then you can move down to the next line. You're not going to write letters across all 3 of these lines. But if we wrote hello, we can write H-E-L-L-O, and you can see here it's going to recognize for us that that is hello. It can recognize different things as well, different types of writing. So if we did all caps, it's going to recognize that also. And if we did cursive, it should recognize that also. So you can see it got hello with all of those different styles of writing on there. I'm going to clear those out because I want to show you something else. So if I wanted to write something like how are you today, I'd go in here and start writing how are you. And you can see as I'm writing, it's coming up with different things. Now, with 2 of these things, it didn't completely recognize it well because my handwriting is a little bit sloppy with this, as most people's will be. But this is a piece to it that's not super intuitive. You would have to know how to use this to do this. But you see where it says AVE. If we tap on that, it's going to give us other potential alternatives to what we may have been trying to write. So I can go up here and I can tap R. And then also with YOW, I can do that again, and I can choose U, and then I can come down here and I can hit speak. And it's going to speak that for me. Now, when you saw when I hit speak, it pulls up something called, you can see down here, iSpeech. This is, to use this, you have to be connected to the internet. If you're not connected to the internet, it's not going to be able to run the speech piece. You're not going to be able to use it. So it has to be on a cellular network or a Wi-Fi network. Once you've finished writing what you want to write, you can come here and hit clear, and it'll wipe that out. If I wanted to go through and write, today is Wednesday, you can see that pops up on there. Now there's a couple different ways that I can get that. There's a couple different things I can do with that. If I want to just add it up here without speaking it, I can hit the enter button right there. Or I can draw an enter keystroke, which is a line down and then a line that's twice as long to the left. So if I did this, it would enter that into my document for me, or into my speech area for me. We'll clear that out of there. If I make a mistake and say, I want to say it is warm. You can see it got it right even though I made a mistake. But I want to say maybe it's cold and I don't want to write it's warm. I can come here and I can hit delete, and if I hit delete, that takes off the last keystroke that we made, or handwriting stroke we made. Or I can take my stylus, my finger, and I can draw a line backwards, and it will. That's a delete feature in this as well, and that would be considered a delete keystroke or a pen stroke there. So then I can go and I can make that change. I can hit speak again. Now if I wanted to change that to maybe it is cool outside, I can write that in here. I can enter that into what I'm doing, and let's clear, and we'll do that. Oop, I cleared the whole thing that time. So anyway, what I wanted to show you is if I write something, let's say, how are you? How are you? I get that up here. We'll put the question mark on there. We'll enter it. Now, if I come up here and I hit this button, that's going to save it for me. And when I save that, now I have, if I look at this other button that looks like a book, if I tap that, I've got different phrases saved in here that I can get to easily. Just by tapping on them, it's going to speak that out loud. So that's one way to kind of speed up what we're doing here. There is an option for a keyboard, so if you want to make changes typing, you just press the keyboard, and you can use that. You see when you make the change, it changes over to pen. So if we want to change back to pen, we'll tap that. It goes back to the pen there. You can see within your handwriting area, period, space, delete, and enter keys are all there as well as speak. It claims, I haven't used it enough to really know how well it does this, but it claims to be able to learn kind of your handwriting style. So it can improve over time. It also makes changes based on context. Although I've been having trouble with, if I say something like, you know, I write I and then am, it wants to put all that together. But if I keep writing, let's see if it changes. See, it's still not, it's now it says fam is going out, but that is pretty clearly I am, the way that was written there. But so it might take some time to learn things. If I change that, if I try and do an alternative, it doesn't even list the right alternative there. So that's something where I might want to enter it and then pull up the keyboard and make changes with that. So there is there are some things it struggles with recognizing a little bit, but for the most part, it does a pretty good job with the handwriting recognition. If you go up here to that little gear, we can look at some of the settings. There are different languages involved in this. I believe there's 13 languages. You can see the little lock option on there. Most of these, if you want to use them, you have to purchase them as an in-app purchase. I don't know what those cost. We can take a look and see. We're not going to buy that right now. So you know, I don't know what those cost, but if you want to do it in a different language, you're going to have to make your change there. I want to show you, if you go down here to where it says letter shapes, this is how it shows you how you can write any of those words and have it accepted. So you can see if you want to write a capital letter, you would go just above the line. You write the lowercase letter, and you can see with every one of these, with every letter, what would be an acceptable solution there for us. So if it's having trouble recognizing a letter that you're writing, you can go into that and take a look and see what you need to do to make it a little bit more recognizable. There is a user dictionary. If you hit edit the user dictionary, you can add other words into this that you may use that it may not know. So if we wanted to add something like, let's say we want to add iCater into this because it's not something that it would generally know, we'll hit add. No, iCater's in this, so when we go back, if we want to write iCater, it should pop up automatically on there. You can see here we can also change between male and female voices. So we can make, by sliding, if it's on, that means it's a female voice. If we turn it off, that means it's a male voice. Also, there is an option here for autocorrect. This would be a good thing to do if you wanted to add something like abbreviations. So if we want to add abbreviations, we could hit edit, hit the plus sign, and type in, here's the misspelled word. We'll put in H-A-Y-T. We'll enter the correct word that we would want to be, how are you today? So this would be a place where we could go and we could enter these abbreviations into our in the handy speech. And so we've made that change in autocorrect. When we say done, now we'll go back to our main page here and we'll take a look at some of the things we saw before. So iCater, if we put I-C-A-T-E-R, it should recognize that. Also now if we put in H-A-Y-T, we get the autocorrect. So we can speed things up by adding in some of those autocorrect things as well. The voice is okay. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's okay. I think the downside to this is that fact that it has to connect to the internet, and sometimes it does take a minute to generate that speech. We can also, if we go up here, we can export things, so we can send it via email or text message or a tweet. The other thing that they show that I don't know, I mean, I suppose it's okay, but they show that you can use this as a deaf person that can't hear what somebody else is saying. You see there's a little microphone here. This works with Nuance, with the dragon speech feature. This person could, the person speaking to the deaf person could tap this, say, "How are you today?" And it recognizes when you're done, and you can see it picked up the "say with me" as well. And it does, and it will type out what you say here, so you hand it back to the individual, and they can see what was written there. Now, I don't know that that's the greatest use of this, but the handwriting component to this, so it recognizes the handwriting and speaks it out loud, is a pretty neat and pretty unique thing. And for $30, it's a good option if somebody can write but can't speak and wants to be able to do things quickly. So overall, it's a pretty good app. If you want to see more about any more of these app webinars that we've done, you can download the iCater Toolkit for free. iCater Toolkit is right here, or you can see these on our website, education.uiowa.edu/iCater, and then visit the webinars tab. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at james-stachowiak@uiowa.edu.